Doctor has quite a disgruntled look on his face there.
Oh, come on. Dalek was flipping looking at him. Well, hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. My name is Paul.
And I'm Thomas.
And we are now on the final episode of the Dalek invasion of Earth. We've enjoyed the first 5 parts. Looking forward to this one. Let us know what you thought about the story so far down below. Let us know what you think of this episode. And what are you laughing at now?
I don't know.
And give us a like and a subscribe. Pass it on to other people. Thomas has lost it. He's had too many cans of Carling. He's just a drunken mess.
I've had half a can.
Half a Carling, and he's gone. So,
no, I've completely.
Do you have to think what his ramblings will be like during this episode now?
I pity anyone watching this.
Absolutely. So yeah. Anyway, do those things. Let's crack on episode 6.
I'm sorry, I think it's because we had a fairly normal intro where we didn't mess up that I just began to laugh nervously.
You had to sabotage it.
Yeah.
Swine.
So this capsule is to blow up the final sort of stretch to reach the core, is that right?
Looks like it, yeah. But Ian, I mean, how does he know what to do? I like that. Look, a little Dalek there.
Oh, cool.
I love this model work. I love it. It looks so good. It really reminds me of like Thunderbirds, actually.
Yeah.
Like someone going down, like Virgil going down in his little chute.
Dun, da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Oh, we should react to Thunderbirds as well.
Thunderbirds, fab.
Including the live action movie, which was my childhood.
Oh, I've never seen the live action one.
Oh, okay. Well, we've got to do that at some point.
I know he's a chemistry teacher, but I mean, that's an interesting shot.
The squat. So has he just diffused it?
Well, I think he sabotaged it in some way, so they're bringing it back up. But he's just climbed out the bottom. There we go.
Exterminate him. Oh, I mean, Ian is such a badass. He's like Indiana Jones. Oral control. That just makes me think of toothpaste or something. This episode was brought to you by Oral-B.
Colgate, yeah.
Oh wow, they're pulling people along with their plungers.
And the suckers, yeah. They seem to be just driving around in circles.
Let's go round the mulberry bush.
The scene, the music for Ian putting some logs in that hole was more dramatic than for that fight scene in the previous episode.
Priorities. Doctor has quite a disgruntled look on his face there.
Oh, come on. Dalek was flipping looking at him.
You got really triggered by that.
It's not flipping it. If you're going to do it, like, just have it looking forward.
That crossed the line there, didn't it?
What? Sounds like the Earth's ending. What are you doing? Got yourself a cookie now. Carling and cookies.
It just fell onto the floor. 5-second rule.
Absolutely.
Have you ever not eaten something that you've dropped on the floor?
Yeah. I once got a cornetto from a shop and I took it out and literally the top just fell straight on the floor. I wasn't going to pick up a cornetto, like the top of a cornetto, and eat the ice cream that had been on the floor. Is this the new voice?
Oh. That's quite guttural, isn't it?
Yeah, much more Dalek-like.
Maybe we could give it new orders.
Yes, that's brilliant, my dear. Good, carry on.
You're
At this point, as a director, you think someone should have just gone,
no.
don't do that. Don't do that.
How long? Oh, that's an awesome shot actually, overthrowing the dictators. Yeah, was that that was Barbara's best Dalek impression? Oh, you gotta love Doctor Who. It treads the perfect line between genius and stupidity. Bet the director was saying, okay, be rough with them, but not too rough with them, because we've got to use them in a later story. Yeah, what's going to happen to this geezer? We're going to have an emotional goodbye.
Grandfather!
Listen, Susan, please. I've double-locked the doors. You can't get in. Now move back, child, where I can see you. During all the years, I've been taking care of you. You, in return, have been taking care of me.
Grandfather, I belong with you.
Not any longer, Susan. You're still my grandchild, and always will be. But now, you're a woman, too. I want you to belong somewhere, to have roots of your own. One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine. Goodbye, Susan. Goodbye, my dear.
He knew. He knew you could never leave him.
There we go.
Wow.
So I kept very quiet when you were talking about Susan, because...
You did, didn't you? Oh, I did not see that coming.
So yeah, we have our first regular cast member depart from the show. Susan is gone.
Wow. Yeah, I actually found that very poignant, that final scene. Just the fact that you thought that the Doctor hadn't really seen that they were in love, and then he kind of makes that decision at the end. Yeah, it was quite emotional, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was surprised how well it hits, actually. Like, because the speech the Doctor makes at the end there, I don't know, you might have seen bits of that before, like because they used it in other stories.
Right.
Even in the modern era, I think they used that. But you might not have seen. I don't know if it was in the documentary Adventure in Space and Time.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
But anyway, it's quite a famous, the bit where he says, "One day I will come back, and until then there must be no more tears, no regrets, and so on." It's quite a famous clip of William Hartnell that often gets used. And you know it's in the context of Susan leaving, but I think sitting it within the episode, it's even more sort of, it's even stronger within the context of the story. That I hadn't really remembered like how she went. I knew she was going to go with David, but that I hadn't remembered that the Doctor basically makes the decision for her by. He knows it's time for her to go and she needs to go, but she would never go by herself, and so he does the hard thing.
Yeah.
And kind of lets her go. And yeah, it was interesting though, because I was reading that that final speech, because it's so well known, but there were some issues with it apparently, and Hartnell, he omitted 2 lines from the speech. So he was supposed to say, "Work hard, both of you, be gentle with her, David, show her that life on earth with love and understanding can be a great adventure." And then the second line he missed was meant to be the very last line. He said, "Remember, love is the most precious jewel of all." But he never said those things, because for whatever reason, there were technical issues and there was, whatnot. I can't imagine that speech with those lines in, to be honest, because it's such a kind of iconic thing. But yeah, I mean, I think it is a powerful ending. I don't think Doctor Who classic series does that very often. I don't think it very often has a poignancy.
Yeah.
So the fact it does that so well, is quite nice.
I think it was by far the most emotional that the show's been so far in terms of us watching through it, in my opinion.
Well, you knew it because we didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Because we sat in silence watching it.
Yeah.
We knew that it was important,
Yeah, I was completely caught up in it, and I know we've talked about how Susan has been quite underserved in some of the previous stories, but it felt very nice that her send off was as good as that, and as iconic as that, like right at the end of the Dalek invasion of Earth. And I think I'm going to miss her actually.
I mean, I'll admit, because when we were getting near the end of season 1 and then doing our season 1 review, I kind of looked and I knew that there was only 2 more stories with Susan in, and I kind of thought to myself at that point, Susan is kind of, she's one of the original companions. She's known as being, iconic figure in the history of the show. But she only really does 1 season and a couple of episodes, and for most of that season, she's terribly underserved as an actress. She's not given a lot to do at all. When she's very good in An Unearthly Child. She was great in Edge of Destruction. She has a few moments here and there in different stories where she comes into her own and just has a bit more to do.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, you kind of think well, actually, the character of Susan is not really developed at all. But yet she's got this kind of iconic, legendary status. Because of being there at the beginning and being the Doctor's granddaughter, but I'm not sure it's entirely warranted from within the show what they do with her. That's not a slight on Carole Ann Ford, and then and people were hinting in the comments before that she was fed up with things, and that's why she left. She wanted out because she wanted to be the character from An Unearthly Child, and she ends up being a screaming teenager.
Yeah.
And
so her whole kind of coming of age has been shunted to basically this story.
They laid some seeds, didn't they?
They did.
A couple of the other stories, even at the end of season 1, I guess because those 2 were filmed in the same set, weren't they? We said this one was filmed. Planet Giants and Dalek Invasion Earth were filmed with series 1.
They definitely teased the idea of her wanting to settle somewhere. And seeing the Earth children and wanting to be like them in a way.
So they did kind of lay the groundwork for it. So they're out there. Those bits have been really good. Yeah. But I think that last few minutes of that episode are really strong. I was going to say something else about it. My mind's gone blank all of a sudden. I'll be annoyed if I to say, it's nothing, and then move on and then forget about it.
Oh, that's all right. We can edit this out.
I was just going to say, no, all it was that you can understand now why they weren't able to switch the order of Planet of Giants and Dalek Invasion of Earth to have a Dalek opener.
Yes.
So, I think they would have preferred the Daleks as the opener, but obviously because of the Susan leaving, this wouldn't have worked at all. So.
That genuinely, I mean, people who are familiar with the show are probably laughing at the fact that I genuinely had no idea that was coming, but I had no idea that was coming. I mean, I think I had in my head that all three companions stayed with William Hartnell for his entire tenure. But no. So it's just Ian and Barbara. Yeah. Wow. So that's going to be interesting. I think in a way it will be interesting to see how the dynamic shifts with a smaller team in the TARDIS. Will Ian and Barbara's relationship be developed more? Yeah. Well, I'm excited now. Yeah. But also quite sad.
Yeah. But it's that whole last episode, like the way the Daleks are dealt with in that end there is fine, but I feel like that ending to the story kind of almost overshadows the whole thing, you know. You don't go away from the end of the story thinking about the Daleks being defeated. You go away thinking about the Doctor and Susan, don't you? So
yeah, which in a sense kind of is always what Doctor Who has been about for me. Like often I don't care too much about what's going on in the episode. It's if the Doctor companion relationship is really good, and if the Doctors are really good, gives a really good performance. That kind of carries it, doesn't it? Even through some rockier patches in Doctor Who.
Yeah. But I think as well, like during like in those scenes there, like apparently Carole Ann Ford is crying real tears.
Really?
And I think William Hartnell found it quite hard because he wasn't. I think even at this stage he was not as well as he could be.
Yeah.
He likes the familiarity, I think, of having the same people around and the same team around him, and I think he found it quite hard to see Carole Ann Ford leave as well. So I think that comes through though in their performances there, you know, because they're both just such a strong performance in those last few minutes. Like you say, really poignantly done. So
it reminded me a bit of Toy Story.
Go on.
Because Toy Story is really about parenting, isn't it? About the toys are kind of it's about
growing up and
yeah, exactly. It's about Woody coming to the terms with the fact that one day Andy won't want to play with him anymore, which is kind of what every parent or grandparent goes through, I guess, isn't it? And kind of what I think what was so powerful about it was that the Doctor. You think that he's going to object to the fact that she wants to run off with this random guy she's just met, but actually he knows, and I think that's a nice kind of quality of the Doctor's seeing coming through, that actually he does know more than he lets on, and he is quite observant, even though he might come across on the surface as a bit of a doddering man in some of these stories. He has a wisdom to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the idea that it's the old kind of, you see it in lots of TV programs or films, don't you? The old if you love her, you'll let her go kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
but yeah, and that's basically the last we see of Susan. So if you know, like you said at the beginning, like, is she really his granddaughter? That's about as much explanation as you're going to get, mate.
Wow. And I'm surprised that she's never been like reappeared in any of the classic or modern era.
I have no idea why they've not got her back in the modern era, because she's still alive, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought she was going to come back in season 10 with the one with Bill and Peter Capaldi. Because in that first story, when Capaldi's working as a university lecturer, he has a picture of Susan on the desk, and they make a point of looking at it. Like.
And is that the series where Clara is at Coal Hill School as well? Or is
no, it's the one with Bill. It's the one with Bill.
Oh,
Potts.
Sorry, yes. But I guess that did at least kind of set it up a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, so I thought they were going to bring her back, and I was like, oh, that would be, you know, amazing to see Carole Ann Ford in it, because, you know, she was there at the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
Just like I think it would be, it's such a shame they haven't got William Russell back as Ian to do something.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for the centenary and the 60th anniversary. Like,
yeah,
who knows, you know.
Yeah.
But
if they could bring Tom Baker back for the 50th, I have hope that they will bring back more classic Who people.
Yeah, I would love to see Ian and Susan reappear in the modern era of Doctor Who. I think Russell T Davies particularly could do something good with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Ian and Susan and David Tennant would be beautiful.
Yeah.
That would be the ultimate palate cleanser after the reign of Chibnall. Apologies to any viewers who have enjoyed the Chibnall era. But it has a lot of good aspects. Maybe some less good.
Well,
anyway.
We'll definitely get to that. We'll get there eventually. So
we're going to watch it all again. Maybe we'll love it by the time we get to it.
We might do, yeah. Might grow on us.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we wrap that up there?
I think so.
Other thoughts on Dalek?
Yeah, sorry, we had quite a lot to say there, but I feel this is a bit of a moment, isn't it?
Yeah, well, absolutely. There's a lot to process after that. So
yeah,
cool. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Let us know what you think about that story, particularly that last scene. Let us know what you think about that and Carole Ann Ford and William Hartnell's performances. We've obviously enjoyed it. And then join us again soon for the next story, The Rescue, I think it is, which I think is just a nice nippy little two-parter.
Ooh, hello.
If I can recall off the top of my head. So, but that'd be nice, won't it? Bash through that nice and quick. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Join us for that soon. But until then, there must be no more tears, no more regrets. Just go forward in all your beliefs. Prove that I was correct in mine. Bye.
Yes. Goodbye.